Boondocking, our happy place. Where are we?
So, we didn't go a long ways out of Alpine. We went down to Pinedale, Wyoming, and we're about 20 minutes outside of town at Soda Lake. And it's 14-day free boondocking, and then boondocking rules 14 days, and then you got to move 25 miles and you can boondock again. So, free camping. We've got a really awesome spot.
Let me show you. Oh, maybe, yeah. Got the mountain there.
So our campground's that way, but we're going to go down this road a little bit further. There's another lake up here that I want to check out called Willow Lake, and it's the same thing. It's game and fish, wildlife management area. And so same thing, boondock out there 14 days.
It's really pretty. It's like the perfect time of year to be out here. I'm trying to get, oh, there. I'm about to now get into it. I was trying to get over the area so you could see this.
So something that, when I looked up this boondocking location, something that might make people kind of nervous, and some of the reasons that make people kind of nervous, is that you have to go through private property to get to it. And that sounds like a huge ordeal, but in Wyoming it's really not. In Wyoming you come across a lot of what we call checkerboard land, where it is public access through private property. Now you have to pay attention to where you're at and make sure you're in one of the right checkerboard spots. You got to make sure you're in BLM or National Forest land.
So how do you know that? How do you find that?
So you can do it a couple of ways. You can do it on free roam. Free roam, it's got map overlays, so it'll overlay like your National Forest land and stuff like that. Or you can go into the local ranger in Pinedale. You can pick up an area map, and that will actually show you where the checkerboards are and stuff.
And what you do, Google Earth, what do you do with that?
So Google Earth, it's a little bit harder to do because you don't have the map overlays. But what I do is I will get a grid coordinate off of Google Earth as to where I'm at, and I will put that grid coordinate onto free roam, and that'll show me exactly where I'm at and whether I'm in BLM, National Forest, or private property. So, like I said, it's public access through private property, so you do have to drive through some private property, but the landowners are aware of that. They just don't want you stopping and messing around on their property.
Well,
drive through it, be nice to it, respect it, and get to where you're going that's on public land.
And for those of you that are like me, where you're not used to like the Midwest or BLM land, things like that.
Jackrabbit.
When I think private property, I think if we go step on their property, we could get arrested. But it's completely different. It's just that you're driving on the road, like this road right here.
We're on BLM land right now. And one way you can normally tell pretty easily, figure out where you're at, there's cattle guards. And every time you cross a cattle guard, you're normally crossing into one or the other. So if you were on private property and you cross a cattle guard, you're normally going into BLM or wildlife management area.
So you're just driving on a road and you're going through BLM. It might turn into private property. You keep going on that road and it turns back into. So it's not like you're stepping onto somebody's land. Like it's legal. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, like I said, just drive through it.
And don't stop and try to park there and stay.
Don't camp on somebody's land. And always, one thing I do when we get to an area, like where we're at now, it's easy. It's pretty easy to tell. You know it. There's established campsites. But if we're out in the middle of nowhere boondocking, one thing I'll always do, I'll sit there and I'll get my grid coordinates and I'll put those onto an overlay so that I know for 100% I'm not on somebody's property. And that's just kind of a respect thing. People don't want to be mean. Naturally. People don't naturally want to be, most of the time, people don't naturally want to be mean. But they do have a right to be upset if you didn't do your job in making sure you're not on their property setting up a campsite.
There's a fun signs, or several of the same sign here. I think it's once you hit private property, it says old people and old dogs at play, slow down. So yeah, but so we're we're staying here for a week, and then we'll continue on. But we'll be hitting several different boondocking places. Just wanted to show you where we're at now. So I'll put some footage up of the lake we're at now and the lake we're actually going to explore right now. Just driving through. So there's just a little way for you to understand boondocking, understand BLM land and how it works. Kenny's pretty master at that. So if you ever have any questions, you can leave a comment and ask him, or send us a message. He can help you out. But if you've never been boondocking out in the Midwest, it's the best.
Yeah, it makes the full-time life worth it. It is so much, and I mean, I know lots of people like their amenities and stuff, but what we really enjoy is getting out of the
We'll have roads like this sometimes, so you just have to drive slow.
Getting out of the RV park and getting away from people and just enjoying the actual idea of camping.
Yeah. So, and out here, there's lots of, in Wyoming itself, there's lots and lots of wildlife, and that's what's really cool about it. So, just here in the Pinedale boondocking we've been doing, there are wild horses. Every day you can see them from where we're staying, from our trailer. Antelope, coyote.
There's a coyote that likes to walk through our site. He barks at me every morning when I go out and turn the generator on.
Bald eagles.
You've got bald eagles, you've got golden eagles.
Mm-hmm. We just saw, Elias, what have you been asking for? What do you want to see? Do you remember? Was it elk? He's been asking for elk for about a week or two now. Every time we get in the truck, we just, on the way back home, saw 3 elk. There's cows in the road. So, it's just been fun.
There's a cow in the road. Swerve to the left.
Okay.
I don't remember the rest of the song.
Good. We're getting into National Forest. It's getting hot. All right. Well, that's about it for now. See ya.
Let this guy go around me.
I would just like to remind you that this is what Kenny said that we could take the trailer on.
Just have to go slow.
Because we're not already going slow. Right?
We wouldn't bounce as much with the trailer on.
Jesus. You guys getting dizzy yet? Another boondocking tip. Some people don't have to have internet. That's great. So to boondock and be in the middle of nowhere, away from everything, including internet, that's great. But if you work on the road, then you have to have internet wherever you go. Believe it or not, being in the middle of nowhere, you can still find internet. Right now, let's see if you can see. Oh my God. Right now, I have a most perfect signal, and we are in the middle of nowhere. So what we do is we have our own little router that runs off of Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. It picks up the best signal from whichever one it is and automatically connects you to it. We bring it with us when we're checking out places because this one's cool. You don't have to plug it in or anything. You just charge it.
It works a lot like a hotspot, but it's a little bit fancier than a hotspot.
So we take it with us when we're scouting out areas, and if we find a spot we like, we stop for a second, look, see what it says, and we go from there. So that's a great way to know. And also, like we talked about the apps before, people, if they've been there before, they're likely to tell you if there was signal or not. Another good tip for looking for a boondocking spot is know the type of road you're going on, right?
Yeah, so like with us, right now we're just kind of scouting out areas, which is a good thing to do. Like right now we have a good spot for boondocking. We've got a spot that's easy to get the trailer into, but we also know that there's a lot of land around us that we could boondock on. So we've set the trailer up. We're good there. We don't have to move, but we can go look around without the trailer on and explore the roads and kind of get an idea as to where we can and can't get the trailer to.
So you can look on some of the apps, like we use Free Roam, there's Overlander, there's Camp Indium, there's different things. You can look for reviews of where people have gone and boondocked before. They're going to tell you what the roads are like. If you don't find it, and there you find want to check out an area you can't find on the app, do like we did. Find somewhere you can park and then go drive around without the trailer. Yeah. Because where we're going right now, the trailer would never make it.
Yeah.
So that's another important thing.
I could get the trailer here. Heather would freak out the whole time I was getting the trailer.
I would not want to get the trailer here. So another good tip. That's all right. Ooh. So this is what, Willow Lake? Willow. So another thing about boondocking that if you haven't done it before you might not understand, some of it is literally just in the middle of the woods, but a lot of it like this. So they have a fire pit for you already, a picnic table, and Kenny's seeing what this box is. We've never seen this. If you can get in. What is it? Ooh, cool. A trash can. Usually. Cool. So it's actually really pretty spot. So a lot of them are you just drive down dirt roads and then you could pull off into, what are they called? Established areas, or what is it?
Yeah, established. Okay.
So it's not just in the middle of nowhere. Every once in a while, yeah, but most of them are like this. So it's not as...
Well, you can take your pick on what you want. I mean, you're national forest here, so you could go out over in there anywhere.
Yeah.
But like right here, you have to be in an established spot.
That's actually pretty nice. It's sand, but it's kind of cool. It's right at the water. And then some of them have potties, which
and they're actually pretty clean.
Kenny hasn't even seen yet the video that me and Elias did, where Elias thought it was a little tiny house and he thought there was a couch and a TV in it. So then when we got inside it, he was pretty disappointed.